something I need to talk about. It is literally taken the internet by storm since it was released last Thursday. Guys, we have to talk about the Borderlands movie, okay? I will keep this spoiler-free for anyone who hasn't seen it and still actually wants to see it, despite all the negativity it's getting. And to be honest, most of it, if not all of it, is justified. The fact that, I mean, the first alarm bell is the fact that they've made an 18 game PG-13, 12A. So that's the bad sign already. Like, Borderlands has never been one for gratuitous language. It has always been one for gratuitous violence. And it has a very unique art style, a very unique animation, which I don't think translates very well into a live action circuit. I actually saw a comment saying if it was made in the same style as the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse art style, like the way the Sony have done it and animated it, it would have been a lot better. And I honestly wholeheartedly agree with that statement. It's too wacky and too niche of a game to convert from this animated style into a live action thing. Like, there's plenty of other games that you can do it with. Like most Naughty Dog games, you can pop straight from from the game version into a live action. They've done it with The Last of Us on the TV side of it. They tried it with Uncharted, which was a bit of a mess, but it still translated well from how it looks as a game to how it looks in a film. Borderlands can't do that, and if they just had, I would be fine with the cast, all of the cast, if it was animated. But then again, if they were going to animate it from the start, they could have just used the original cast members for it as well, especially if they're going to use the characters that they picked. But let's quickly go for the cast members. Jack Black was Jack Black. I think he did a fine. He did a job as Claptrap. I don't think too many complaints about Claptrap. Kevin Hart actually surprised me as Roland. I didn't think he was going to pull it off. I'm saying this in very withdrawn sentiment. I didn't think he'd pull off as well as he did. Had he still been alive, I would have personally casted Lance Reddick as Roland, because Roland's a very serious character. He's not one for joking. And when I saw Kevin Hart was cast as him, I was immediately worried, because Kevin Hart is, let's be honest, he's typecasted as not a very serious character in any film or any TV show he's ever been. He's always been a jokey character. So that was already a bit of an alarm bell for me. Cate Blanchett, I mean, given Lilith's age, she was a bit too old for it. The age itself didn't put me off. The script for her was completely wrong. They made Lilith out to be this really cold-hearted bitch, which really wasn't Lilith. She was very sarcastic. She was very dry. I mean, don't get me wrong. She had a fiery side to her, Firehawk, but she wasn't as cold-hearted as they scripted it for the way Cate Blanchett was. I think, honestly, one of the biggest pressure characters in that whole set was Tiny Tina. The fact that they put Tiny Tina in. And as we all know, anyone who's played Borderlands, Tiny Tina is an iconic character from 2. The voice actress, whose name I cannot remember, she did an amazing job as Tiny Tina. I mean, there is a reason why my emotes, my sub-emotes, are Tiny Tina themed, because she's an amazing character. She's very unpredictable. She's very bipolar in the way that she speaks. But she is a lot of fun, and although I didn't think that they did a bad job with her, the way they made her origin story was just really, like, it was just really weird. I almost said a spoiler then. It was just really strange. It didn't seem to fit into anything. Like, obviously when we meet Tina, we meet her holed up in a cave, like, blowing up bandits, so we don't really know a lot about her, like, previous story, like her origin and how she got there. But they could have done something much better than what they actually decided to put into the film itself. Jamie Lee Curtis as Tannis, would have been a fine cast, but again, I think they scripted her poorly and directed her poorly. Like Tannis has a lot of contempt for people. She's not a people person, and they didn't really harness that. It's almost as if like the people at the top of this film, producing and directing it, they didn't really have a grasp of what Borderlands was. They never really understood the characters. They never really understood what it was. And it just felt a mess from start to finish, to be honest. I didn't go out of there hugely disappointed because I saw it a few days after its release, so I was able to soak in pretty much all of the negative reviews. I haven't seen one positive review on it. It wasn't... What I'll say is, it wasn't as bad as other people were making it, but then it wasn't very good either. Like, I went with my friend. I'd probably give it no higher than a 6, but that is very much pushing it. I think we agreed in the end, like a 4.5, 5. There was a couple of redeeming factors, but there was so much negative factors surrounding it that it just doesn't... It just overawed the positives that we found from it. And like Krieg, the person who's cast as Krieg was fine, and the person they cast as Marcus was fine. Gina Gershon as Moxie was okay-ish. And I know Moxie's like meant to be old in the game, like she's older than what she appears to be, but she also looks very young. So, I don't know. I mean, she did an okay job. I can't really criticize her. She wasn't on that screen for too long. But I felt like they wasted her screen time at the same time, you know? So I was expecting more when Moxie came on. And there was a couple of little hints towards some of the guns in there. But it just felt... I don't know. For fan service, I don't feel there was enough. There wasn't enough true to what the games were. I was always confused as to where they were going to take the storyline, considering that they had characters from Borderlands 2 and 1 in at the same time, being with Krieg and Tina. So obviously the events of 1 had to be skipped, but then it was just weird. Like, I'm trying to word it in a way where I don't give spoilers, but if you're thinking about watching it, if you are still deadly curious on watching it, I would honestly wait for it to come out to like Netflix or Prime or whatever and watch it there. I don't think it's not worth the trip to the cinema, to be honest. Which pains me to say because I'm a huge fan of the series. I love Borderlands. I love the art style. I love the chaotic nature of the game. I love the fact that it's just in your face all the time, explosions everywhere. The scripting and the dialogue is insanely fun and funny, and there's so much replayability for the first and second one. Less said about the third one. I was disappointed with Borderlands 3, just because the amount of times they kept pushing it back, waiting to release it at the right time, give a polished thing, and it was just so bereft of content when it came out, considering how long they pushed it back for. Like, it just pushed me straight back to replaying 2, to be honest. 2 is so much fun. It's easily the best game in the series, too. And pre-sequel, I should give a shout out to pre-sequel. Pre-sequel is fun. It's a bit short, but it does have its fun. I would honestly play pre-sequel again over 3. It's not that like I strongly despise 3. It's just I was seriously let down on launch from it. It just felt like it was lacking so much, and like 2 was just perfect, you know. And even like Wonderlands I did enjoy. The only thing that disappoints me is, like, again, the lack of added content onto it. I wish they would add a bit more to it, because, you know, the D&D style combined with Borderlands, I mean, we all loved the Tiny Tina DLC from 2, so I was hoping that they would, you know, latch onto that a bit better. I mean, yeah, they created a whole side game for it, but I was expecting a bit more onto it, like maybe adapt some real-life D&D campaigns into a Borderlands style, and that would have been really cool. But who knows? Who knows? I mean, they did release DLC for 2 years and years and years after it was launched to lead into 3. So who knows? There could be hope for Wonderlands, for content for it in the future. Who knows? I mean, it's Gearbox at the end of the day. They do surprise us. do surprises at, you know, the most random of times. But the Borderlands movie is not good. It's not good. It's disappointing that it isn't as good as I was hoping it would be. I was looking forward to it for the longest time, and the fact that that was what came out was very, very disappointing. So if you're still keen on watching it, I'd honestly go watch something else. Go watch Deadpool Wolverine again if you've already seen it, or if you haven't seen it, go watch Deadpool Wolverine. Yeah, there's other films. Go watch Alien Romulus as well. Like, there's better films out in the box office to go watch. To be honest, it's not worth the hassle. But what did surprise me though is when I went to go see it on the Sunday, packed screening, absolutely packed. There was a sold out screening, which baffled me because how could I was going strictly because it was Borderlands, and out of sheer curiosity, I wanted to see what it was like. Plus, I got a cinema card, so I may as well enjoy the free entry whilst I can, you know. But yeah, it was just such a letdown, man. Such a letdown. If they do decide to revisit Borderlands on the big screen again, I would much prefer it in an animated style. Similar to, like I said at the start, similar to the Spider-Verse style. Or even exactly how they have it in the games. Just let Gearbox do the animation for it. And if they want to recast... if they want to recast the cast again, if they want to use the cast from the games, or use the cast... use other voice actors, I'd be fine with that. But as long as Gearbox get behind it a bit more, and they get the animation down to it, and they actually give it that Borderlands feel, I think it'd be a lot better. It'd be a lot better. I mean, we've seen what they've done with Spider-Verse. And I think the fact that, like, The Last of Us and Fallout have done so well on the small screen, I think it genuinely put a lot more pressure on Borderlands to do well. On the big screen. Because, let's be honest, it's not very often we actually get, like, video game adaptations onto the big screen. So when it happens, we're obviously going to be a bit more critical of it, of when it hits the big screen, because those fans of the franchise will be looking out for specific things. They'll be looking out for certain characters, how certain characters are scripted and portrayed. They'll be looking out for landmarks, certain items, certain bosses. They'll be looking out for all sorts. So, like, the diehard fans are always going to be the hardest ones to please. And it's usually them that always nitpick a lot. Even when the product is really, really good, they'll always nitpick. Like, the Fallout series was very, very good, but there was some people still nitpicking certain characters here and there, to the point that it just came across that they were people who just wanted to complain for the sake of complaining, to be honest. But I think I would like to see another Borderlands movie, but, like, not a follow-on from this one. I'd want him to do it all again from scratch. I mean, hell, I would love to see him adapted to the TV series. Like, get Netflix onto it. They did a really... although I'm not a League of Legends fan, I've heard rave reviews about Arcane. Apparently that's meant to be really good. I'll have to give it a go. Not one on League of Legends, but I guess I can give it a go. And they've done a really good job on that. So, let them have it. They did a good job with The Witcher. So yeah, just let Netflix or Prime cook. Just let them get hold of it and go. We'll do a better job of it than you did. So I don't know. I was hoping for a bit more. So the point of this is, don't go see the Borderlands movie. Just wait for it to come to Netflix or Disney or Prime or whatever service you're subscribed to. Wait for it to go to one of them, and then watch it as part of your subscription plan. Don't waste much. Just go see Alien Romulus, go see Deadpool, go see that Blake Lively film, whatever it's called. It all ends here, I think. Go see that. Go see Despicable Me. Go see Inside Out, if that's just anything but the Borderlands film. Anything with the Borderlands film. And what's really sad is, there's a lot of really good actors that are stuck in that film now. Cate Blanchett is an excellent actress. Jamie Lee Curtis is an excellent actress. They're stuck in that film now. That makes me really sad that they're actually stuck in that film, but it is. And Jack Black is a really good actor as well. They're all stuck in that film. It's really sad when good actors and actresses get stuck in in bad films, but it is the way it is. But yeah.